Hello, and welcome back to our third episode of Enemy of My Enemy. I am so excited and nervous about what's going to happen tonight.
No, when a
This
storyteller's
is
nervous, that's terrifying.
this is episode 3 in a 5-part series in which we have taken Hunter the Reckoning and Vampire the Masquerade and we have smooshed them together for this show, Enemy of My Enemy. I would love to introduce our wonderful cast, but before that, I think we have some wonderful housekeeping. Drak, could you take it away?
Yes, I can. So again, as Dylan said, welcome to episode chapter 3 of our 5 Chronicle series of Vampire the Masquerade plus Hunter the Reckoning. I just want to thank Demiplane. Thank you so much for letting this be our home for this incredible show, and Hero Forge for sponsoring this show, helping making it happen. Hero Forge offers a fully customizable tabletop miniature creating experience with dozens of species and thousands of parts to choose from. You can check it out on heroforge.com. They have a very easy to use design tool right down to the color, which has been a fairly recent addition. I say recent, I think it's been around for maybe a year or so now. But now you can create your characters in color. And actually, if you keep an eye out on the Demiplane RPG Twitter, you might see some of our characters built on Hero Forge in the next coming few weeks. But Hero Forge also offers downloadable model files, so you can print them out yourself, so you don't necessarily have to buy them and get them sent over to you. If you have a 3D computer, 3D printer, or access to one, you can print it out yourself. They're constantly expanding their catalog of customizable options, adding new parts quite literally every few weeks, with major features like new species, custom poses. I think recently they've had some new weaponry, which is very cool, and I plan on using and might be adding to my character because, a hunter. But yes, please check out. I mean, what? Hey, I mean, this truce is just a temporary one. I might end up needing to anyway. Your role playing world is a colorful one. Use Hero Forge to make your miniature just as colorful. On top of that, Demiplane, we're actually using, like I mentioned before, Demiplane is our home for this show, but also the tool we're using to play this game. Like I mentioned, we're using Hunter the Reckoning and Vampire the Masquerade. And we're using the Demiplane Nexus to do so. It makes it way easier to reference and play with these rules and different rules and systems. And if you want to have a try yourself, you can actually win a Vampire the Masquerade Ultimate Bundle and Hunter the Reckoning core book in the Nexus in chat today and every other Friday that we're here. We're going to be doing it every Friday we air. Just look in chat. The mods will tell you how exactly to enter that competition, but you can win. One winner will win both of those things. So if you don't win it today, come next week or the week after that, you might get a chance to win. But that's enough from me. I say that, but it's not enough from me. I want to keep talking because we're going to introduce ourselves, and I'm already talking, so I'm going to go first. Hi, I'm Drak, or Draconics. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics, that's Drakoniques. I use he, they pronouns, and I'm playing Enoch Igweze. He also uses he, they pronouns, and they are a hunter. If you want to get specific, they're a martial hunter, but you might, judging from what Dillin posted in a group chat today, you're probably going to figure that out in this episode. But yeah, I'm going to pass it on over to who's next. I'm terrible. I believe it is Matt. Yes, believe me. There we go.
Hello, beautiful, wonderful people. Hey, how's it all going? Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you so much for joining us. That intro is a scourge, and everyone will know it by the time I'm done. My name is Matt, Captain Raelyn, all things pronouns they, he. We love that they, but also he is fine. Use them interchangeably. I am again Captain Raelyn, all things. I am playing Auguste, who is he, him, who's also a hunter. Again, with things that Dillin has been telling us, I feel like his like cool, calm, calculated demeanor is going to turn into a slapstick-esque comedy by the time we're done with today, because I'm going to goof up some roles. Oh, I'm telling you this right now. I also, aside from doing this beautiful show, I also GM and edit The Adamless, which is a sci-fi opera.
You're forgetting something.
show.
You always
I
forget.
am on the award-nominated
It is.
podcast, The Adamless, which is a sci-fi show. There is an AP, which is on our YouTube channel, and it's also every 2 weeks on Momo O'Brien's Twitch channel, because she is a cast member in it. We take that AP, use it as an actual recording thing, take away mechanics talk and like some dead air, move some things around, add music, and kind of turn it into an improvised audiobook. So if you want to listen to that, go on to wherever your podcasts are found and type in The Adamless, and then you'll find a little bit of us. And then I'm going to pass it over to my characters. We've said this a few times, arch nemesis, but currently uneasy ally host of where they are at the minute, since they're in their house. Raven, away.
I do hope that Auguste knows how to take his shoes off before he muddies up the place. Hi, I'm Raven. You can find me at Wreck-It Raven anywhere on the internet except TikTok. It's Wreck-It.Raven. Not a long story, just an embarrassing one. I, they, she, any pronouns. Use them interchangeably, like my other fellow them be, whose character is my character's mortal enemy, but we'll see how that goes. I am playing Madame Ime, who is a badass Ventru brothel owner, BDSM club owner, who really challenges what loyalty is for a typical Ventru. And right now, she just invited 2 hunters into the club. Like, that is very, not her. So, will this bite her in the butt? Maybe. Who knows? Well, I guess we'll find out today. And I'm very nervous about it. And I am going to pass it to Hamnah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Hamnah. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. You can find me all over the social medias at Lilith TTRPG. If I have a thing, that's me on that thing. But today I will be playing Fanaa, who uses they, them pronouns, and Fanaa is a vampire of the Salubri clan. I think they might potentially be the reason that we're all in this mess in the first place. Unconfirmed, unsure. It'll be fine. It'll be so fine. And with that, I will pass it over to the lovely Stella. I was about to call you Kim.
I am Stella or Kim. You can call me either. But you can find me online on Twitch at Stellaluna. All other social media, I am Stellaluna TV. I am a TTRPG producer and performer. I do this kind of stuff all day long. If you want to find out all of the things that I'm up to, please check out my Twitter. Today I will be playing Kim Raelyn. She's interesting. We both use she, they pronouns. Kim used to be a nurse. And then they were embraced into the world of darkness, and they're not a nurse anymore. And I think it's quite obvious that they've had a change of faith as well. But we'll see if we touch on that today. Instead, for now, we will pass it on over to our storyteller.
Hello, I'm Dillin or Super Dillin. Either of those is fine. I would like for you to use she, he, and they pronouns for me when you are talking shit about me behind my back. I
just registered what you said.
I am so thrilled and honored to be running this campaign, this World of Darkness mashup, and I am so thrilled to be bringing us into the action. I am also a cast member on The Adamless. I do recommend that you go listen to it, but not right now, because right now we're gonna play some Vampire the Masquerade and some Hunter the Reckoning in a beautifully tortured mashup. And I think we should get into today's story.
Enemy of my enemy may include death, minor violence and or gore, exsanguination, blood, hunger, memory and or thought manipulation, classism, betrayal, romance, party conflict, heights, and real-life religion and political allegory. Everyone on this show has a set of safety tools to use if anything in our game becomes triggering for us, but we want you, the audience, to remain safe as well. If anything occurs that is triggering to you, please look after yourself and step away if you need to. And remember, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
The living honor the dead. The fools should run instead. For there's no better thing to celebrate. No cause for us to ring our bells and cheer and sing and commiserate than a night like tonight, a ravenous night, when the living resemble the dead. Hunters inside the club. When the world was quiet, it was subtle and unnerving. And then suddenly, when the noise comes back, it comes back with a thunderous clap. The sounds of the city are in full force again, seemingly for a moment louder than they were before. The trains in the distance, the cars honking, the laughter of clubgoers outside, walking to and from their destinations, the cabs honking, the pedestrians shouting down a cab here and there. It is all cacophonous at once as it returns for you. The technicolor world that you are now in makes you realize just how gray everything seemed just a moment ago. You can even see just behind you out the window of the club passers-by walking. Maybe a few peer in, although they can't really see in through this window past the sign on the door. You hear laughter. You hear even the sounds from below. The people who are here in this club, the mortals who were here. Some laughing, some crying, some drunk, many drunk. It is almost unbearably loud. Is there anything that you would do in this moment.
think-
Auguste has. Oh, you go.
Oh no, I think you should go. I think it makes sense for August to have react to this before Enoch.
Auguste, if you took a picture of Auguste from outside, like body leaning on his cane, revolver held out in this statuesque grip, and you moved that picture to inside of the club, it is the exact same pose. Like, he has not moved. His revolver is pointed directly at the back of Kim, since Kim let him in. Kim can probably hear a very like pervasive heartbeat of his, like dudum 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 dudum. Like, he is really like it. This is not a good place for him. He isn't as quick as he used to be. He isn't a oh well, let's just walk into somewhere and just clean, see how many we can clean out before we leave. It is this is not his place, and his breathing, you can hear him like people who just have good perception and can't hear heartbeats can hear him breathe really heavy, trying to calm himself down. And I think Kim, just being vampire, and if someone else is next to him, his hand leaves his cane and immediately goes into the pocket next to it. And you can hear this like clink of metal as his eyes dart around the club, counting every single vampire. And every time he counts, it's like a 1, 2, 4. There is like another clink. Like, he's counting the bullets and the rounds he has in his pocket, to see if it's reasonable at all for him to like, if he is going to run, or if things go down, could he protect himself? There's this like small rustle of metal as he like readies the revolver, and I think this wall switch of atmosphere is in part his panic. The complete dead silence of everything, not even feeling the wind, to the outside has changed. It is a different outside, almost like we've walked into another realm, and now it is loud and the air is thick, and that and being out of his comfort zone is really making him lose his cool. But he counts the 15, reasonable to say 15 people at the bar, vampires trained. Lower?
The most of the vampires have gone down into hiding. The
Very good.
vampires that are with you right now are the 3 that you followed into the bar, and maybe 2 staff members that seem very close with Madame Ime, who are cleaning up at the bar. They do not seem to hear this cacophony. They still stare.
Are they staring at Auguste, or are they just staring
No,
generally?
they are staring generally.
How far is Enoch from Auguste?
Oh, I can describe what Enoch is doing and where he is. I think
Yeah,
Enoch is
please
sat
do.
in a booth. He came in, I feel like, quite a bit before August did, so he had time. And he is in a booth and has his bag on one of the tables, and is just reaching in to pull something out, kind of pauses when he hears the world come back. And Auguste would know. And honestly, I think even Kim would know, as I imagine Kim has dealt with people who have some kind of battle or combat training, that pause wasn't like fear or surprise. It was almost like him forced himself not to jump into combat, not to react physically in response to a potential threat, as they wait to kind of analyze what is going on. And once he's able to identify that it's just the return of the world, for lack of a better term, the return of the noise, they very gingerly relax again, and out of the bag they pull out a Nintendo Switch. And kind of a little bit like they have their hand crossbow with a stake loaded in it set on the table by their bag, and pull out a Nintendo Switch. I think it's definitely custom. It's a just to be with the times, the Legend of Zelda custom Switch. And they pull it out and turn it on, and you hear like, even I think because of how out of place it is, you still hear the sound of like the starting up sound of the Nintendo, and it clicks as he goes to the to a game that once he clicks on it, you hear is Mario Party. As he leans back and puts his his feet on the table as he leans back.
Excellent.
Oh, you go.
No, I would love to hear what you had to say, actually.
I was gonna ask him a question, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Gun outstretched, like the you can feel like someone's like staring at the back of your head. What is going on outside?
There seems to be something supernatural coming. I do not turn to face you. Instead, I'm looking out towards the rest of the room.
At this time, I would like to visit Kim and our vampires, because this technicolor loud world is not what Kim and Madame Ime see. As the world comes back to life for our hunters, it gets gray and dark for our vampires. What you see and hear is an absolute all-encompassing silence. The world encased in a colorless gray. But you now do see people just outside your bar, walking by, cars, headlights, all encased in that same gray tone. They can't see in, I'm assuming, Madame Ime, that your windows are a one-way situation, of course. But you see club goers walking to and fro, although they do not look like they are heading to the club. It's almost like a zombified sort of walk. And you hear the scratching, the rumble of feet and claws as it was, except the thunderous sound of them approaching gets closer and closer with every second. It seems that the two hunters with you feel at ease, almost. Do not feel this impending doom anymore, although Auguste still seems on edge despite that. But Enoch, at the very least, has completely let guard down. But for you and for Kim, it seems that the otherworldly presence here is getting closer, not further away.
At this, I will look behind me over my shoulder to Auguste and I say, you should take a deep breath. Your heart is currently going at 110 beats per minute. It's equivalent to that of a rabbit. Something is happening. And without really waiting, I begin to step away, perhaps trying to seek out the gaze of Madame Ime.
You get it. I turn and I look at you before quickly glancing at Auguste. Back to you, and then back to him. Auguste, please. The sound of your heartbeat is excruciating in my ears. No one here is going to hurt you as long as I say that you're good. You have my word.
The world of the undead means very little if your people cannot control themselves.
Oh, they'll control themselves because I control them. Understand? Everyone's downstairs. And then I look back to Kim, not even waiting an answer.
May I speak with Fanaa? Because while the hunters see the world alight with color and people walking by, and the vampires see a gray undertone, people walking zombified down the street, Fanaa, the gray hits you as well. At first, all at once, you see this muted tone take over your vision. You see the bodies walking by, but as your vision settles through the window to the outside street, almost as if you were watching an old 3D movie without the glasses on, and you could see the overlay of separate colors. There are these sort of zombified bodies walking down the street, and just overlaid are their living counterparts. The animated version of the club goer in the miniskirt laughing with her friends and taking shots out of their purses. But through the other eye, you see her droning on a shell, a ghost. There is this gray, and there is color. And if you focus on one, you can see it. If you let your eyes relax, you can see them both. It is as if these things are happening simultaneously, because they are.
Fanaa seeing this, their infinite pupils against their black scleras, I think, start to move independently of each other. One group focusing on the living, the technicolor, the supposedly real side of things. The other focusing on this grayscale, this zombified version of the reality underneath. And they, I think, at first stand there for what feels like an infinity as they try to make sense of it all, as they try to make one of them take hold and push the other out, but neither really happens. Eventually, the two come into clear view, not quite mixing together, but this almost like a 3D movie where the glasses don't quite work, so you're seeing both the red and the blue all at once kind of superimposed onto each other. And they've never seen the world like this. I mean, they've seen past the veil before, but it's never been like this before. And their attention keeps getting drawn to that woman with that person lying down, telling them to get up, you need to get up. And Fanaa, without really thinking about it, starts to walk over to that woman.
She looks to you, notices your approach. Can you get him out of here?
Do you know them?
I don't remember. I think I do. I don't remember. I've been dead for a long time. But I don't want them to die here.
Hey, they're not going to die here. Nobody's going to hurt them. I mean, I know we have a couple of hunters that are in the building, but they are not allowed to hurt anybody here.
I'm not worried about the hunters. I'm not worried about the vampires. He has to get away from this place and hide.
From what?
The clipping of nails against the pavement is louder, and outside the window. I would like to have everyone here, all of our vampires, all of our hunters, as we hear them just outside on the street. She looks up at you. First come the hounds. You hear alongside the gripping of nails against the pavement a snarling sound, a echoing snarling sound as a horde of monstrous pups, these disfigured, not quite dog-like, but certainly on all fours, certainly built with muscle and brine and sinew, and with teeth that spill saliva out onto the ground as they run. My vampires, you are the only ones that see them as they run by. A few of them, as they run by the people on the street, will just tear in, not in attack, but just running through them. You cannot see, as these hounds run through the people on the street, that the ghost-like figure within them separates, pulls apart, gets suspended in midair for just a moment, and you see the person, the human. Hunters, if you look out the window, you see people just suddenly gasp out of nowhere, catch their breath, steady themselves, and continue on their way.
Fanaa is going to, seeing this, seeing these creatures, these dogs running around and seeing the way that it affects the people outside, I think they are going to kind of like very quickly, as if they have been kickstarted into action, start shaking this person that is lying down.
Uh,
Hey, 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 are you awake?
Ime?
Uh, Ime is uh, and I think Vanessa starts looking around for Ime.
I was muted. I notice and like I panic because I just see you kind of like I know that when you're looking around like that and your anxiety is high, I almost jump into like mama bear mode. So without any hesitation, I'm right over by you.
Madam, this person was he's calling for you. I think we need to get him out of here
We
right now.
do. Fuck. It's just supposed to be a very normal evening, and now it is not. And you see her just kind of take a deep breath. And I put on my best smile. Because I've not seen these people detach, but I have seen these hounds.
You've seen the hounds. Yes.
And then I've seen the reactions, right?
You have seen these dissipated souls flung into space
Okay.
as these hounds attack them.
Okay. And so I put on my best smile. And I brush a braid from my face, and I very gently like wrap my hand underneath his chin. Darling, it's time to go. You're not safe here. It appears that there is something otherworldly going on, and I cannot protect you.
You always protect me.
Darling, I would protect you until my dying day, which will be hopefully many, 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 many years from now. But I don't know enough about this. I'm gonna get you home, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Should I go?
Sit right there. And I kind of like wave to Kane. And I'm gonna look up at him. And I am going to tell him, not so secretly, Kane, I need you to call Amaya. Have her bring the car around, get him home safely. Okay?
It's done.
I don't want you leaving here.
I would not.
Perfect. And so she kind of like gently pats Kane's arm and looks back down at this gentleman. Now, darling, listen to me. Amaya's gonna get you home. Okay? And I will see you just as soon as I can.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. And then I look to Fanaa before looking back to Kim. And ideally, we are sharing this moment of like, fuck.
Kim has immediately turned to bodily face towards the doors. Auguste, you would see Kim is looking past you, following some kind of invisible object, some fixation moving over across the various windows. I recoil just a little. Fuck. And immediately I brush past you. I go back to the doors and I begin to physically lock them.
Up this close to the doors, Kim, you see just how clear the carnage is some of these hounds have ripped into the souls of the people who are walking by. You see souls that have been ripped out and are floating, suspended in air. They keep running.
There's a moment where my hands hesitate on the final lock of the door, and I'm just staring. And after a long pause, I knock it into place with a solid thud, and I begin to pull out a cigarette.
I look to Kim with a nod, but you can tell that I am panicking. There is a messiness about my typically composed demeanor. And I look to the hunters, Enoch, who is playing on the Switch, and Auguste, who is swallowing
Pretty much
a
right there. Yeah.
swallowing a panic attack, essentially, based off what she can see. And with very seriousness, she offers Fanaa and Kim a very compassionate glance before looking back to Enoch and to Auguste. Well, gentlemen, let's let bygones be bygones, yeah?
I think Enoch doesn't even reply to you. He doesn't even look at you. You can see that he's, despite having a switch in his hand, he has paused. As the only thing he's noticed is the gasps, like almost a wave of gasps going across the streets, and sets the switch down. And again, like seems to just ignore Ime and reaches into the bag and throws Auguste a gas mask as he pours out his own. Because at least to him, this seems more like at the very least, an invisible threat. It could be gaseous. As he stands up to, and that's gonna be my. We got some experience points and I bought special features.
Hell yeah!
So it's gonna be just like basically immune to gaseous things. So I throw that over to Auguste. Not sure what we're dealing with, but everyone seems to be affected outside. It's only a matter of time before we are in here. And I will then turn to not Madame Ime, but Fanaa. Because I think I had actually stopped playing the game despite having it in my hand when I started seeing Fanaa talk to thin air. Because that's what us hunters saw, Fanaa speaking to thin air and having a back and forth of some kind, only hearing one side of the conversation. And so it looks, I imagine, past Ime, because I feel like Ime is the kind of person to interpose himself as much as they can between Fanaa and anyone else. But
there's no resistance from Ime right now.
Okay, then they'll look at Fanaa. Who are you talking to? As I stand up and pick up the crossbow.
I'm not sure, but whoever it was wanted to get that person out, but Ime did that. Do you know what's happening outside?
No. Seeing everyone gasp in waves seems very suspicious.
They're not. What are you talking about? Gasp. Do you not see the hounds?
No. Do you see hounds?
Yes.
Yes.
With knowing that we can't see them, seeing all the gasps, and then hearing hounds, would Auguste have any clue what is out there?
You could go ahead and make me a intelligence occult roll
Oh,
and
do you
see.
mean my max 10 roll? Don't mind if I bloody do.
While Auguste is doing that, hearing that the hunters can't see what's outside, but
Right.
at least Ime and Kim can. I think Fanaa assumes that they can also maybe see like both, not having had confirmation yet that you can't. I think Fanaa will step very tentatively, but will step towards Enoch and will say, I think for all of our benefits, it might be useful if you could see. Do you want
Enoch,
to?
Enoch stares at Fanaa for a moment, kind of eyeing them up and down. Fanaa is fairly short, whereas Enoch is quite large, even for him. And they'll say, as they kind of run a hand along their jacket, they're still wearing their jacket, but I think as you see them reach in, you can see multiple stakes hanging from their waist as they kind of rest their hand on one of them.
Fanaa flinches visibly.
I think that's when Ime would kind of just like swoop in between them just to like act as a shield for Fanaa. Wordlessly.
Get my dear Auguste.
So okay, all right. I got 6. I used a willpower. I got 6.
6 successes.
Yeah.
Okay. From what you can see, what you have heard, this is reminiscent of a lot of things you've heard about. This is reminiscent of the worm. This is reminiscent of the wild hunt. This is reminiscent of a lot of folklore and stories. But the hounds not being able to touch the living, as far as you can see, is not quite lining up with anything. This seems to be something that you've never come across, which is rare for you.
So can we exclude the worm and exclude wild hunt from?
Yeah.
And the clues of that is that they are invisible, but the hounds specifically cross out those things.
Yeah. How they're behaving. The fact that they're only able to affect the souls, it seems.
Right. Okay. They're invisible, yes, but the way they're acting, and they are not affecting living in normal ways, only affecting souls. So they are not the worm, and they are not the wild hunt. This is something else entirely.
Hearing this, I will look over Ime, still looking at Fanaa, hand still rested on the stake, and just go. And how exactly are you going to help us see?
Well, firstly, I need you to not fight back. And it might be useful if you sit down.
There's apprehension in Ime's body, but ultimately she reluctantly steps away and just looks to Enoch. Please treat them kindly. They will not hurt you. They are not a threat. Do you understand?
I would do what I need to do. Do
Which
you
means
understand?
not hurting them. We're going to work together. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you want to kill me. Do not hurt them.
I would do what I need to do.
And if you hurt a hair on their head, I will do what I have to do. And
Enoch smiles.
with that, Ime steps away. We have to get the mortals out of the basement. Kane! And like, there's panic. Did you call Amaya?
Gone.
We need to get them out of the basement, please.
On it.
Thank you.
No hesitation as he bursts through the basement door. Unfortunately, it is at this time that several hounds, for those who can see them, stop and pause at the door. They sniff with a big rush into their shoulders, lean their heads back, and the ungodly howl that the vampires hear echo throughout the sky is enough to pierce, just to create the slightest sense for the hunters, almost like the coyotes 2 counties away howling at midnight. You hear just enough.
We don't have much time. Do you trust me or not?
Did I notice the flinch when I had my hand on the stake?
Oh, easily.
Can I do an insight check to see if I can gauge how scared of this stake they are of this stake?
You know what I would say, I'm happy for you to do a wits insight. If Ime wants to freely share that information, she's able to. If you would like to conceal it, roll wits deception as a
Do you mean
contested
me?
roll.
Do you mean Fanaa?
Fanaa. I'm sorry. Yes.
I don't even think you need to roll for it. I think it's very obvious that that vampires can be held with stakes, and I'm sure all vampires are to some degree afraid of
Mhm.
them. This was unusual. This was more like an overreaction in your head.
I will turn to Auguste and toss my stake crossbow to Auguste. And as I do, I'll just say, "Final death." This one, as I point to Fanaa, if anything goes wrong, and I'm going to sit down and look up to Fanaa.
Okay. This will feel like an empty dream. And Storyteller, I would like to abuse a discipline that I have.
Please.
Share the senses normally allows me to tap into somebody else's senses. Can I reverse engineer it and let Enoch tap into mine?
Yes. No
Okay.
door opens one way only. We've established this. It's part of the opening monologue. Go for it.
Normally it's a contested roll, but I'm assuming you're not resisting.
Yeah.
If
no.
you're not
Okay.
resisting, then it is open.
Okay, cool. I will roll my resolve plus aspects for this. And you get to decide the difficulty. It has to be minimum 3.
Mm-hmm.
6 successes.
Fantastic. I think that you can share with Enoch as much as you would like to, or as much as Fanaa thinks a human could handle of this information is more like
Ooh,
it.
yeah.
I think that Fanaa does not show Enoch the entire, like, not the whole world being what it is, but specifically they want you to see the hounds and they want you to see the hounds' souls, spirits, whatever it is, and the way that they interact with people. So you're still going to see the people the way that you see them, but through their senses, you're able to see both the hounds and beyond the veil.
How does this look and feel for Enoch?
I think it feels like it feels like fading out of your own body, like you're fainting. And I think you get that sensation, like you're falling into a dream where it feels like you're falling, like physically. And just at the moment where you're able to catch yourself is when your senses, I think, switch and they snap into what Fanaa is seeing. And it must be really strange because you're looking at yourself in this moment because Fanaa is looking at you in this moment. And you can see your own face, your own body on the ground at first. And I think it's when Fanaa sees probably some sort of reaction within you, within your face change at the strangeness of seeing yourself that they will turn their head, their gaze towards the hounds so that you can see them. And the thing is that with Share the Senses, though you are in my senses, you are in your body. So you still feel like where you are. You
Yeah.
can still move yourself, you're still lucid. So it's this very strange out of body, like astral projection style experience that you're having.
So I did sit down. So I think I slumped over for a second and then caught myself on the edge of the table in front of me. And as I try to look around, I notice my vision isn't changing. My head isn't. What I'm seeing isn't my head moving around.
Mm-mm.
I'm seeing Enoch in front of me, their head moving around, and there's definitely initial panic. I think for the first time in this entire encounter, there's definitely a look of panic on Enoch's face for a moment, and then you turn to face the hounds, and I think that's when it kind of clicks of what I'm looking through, and now what you and by association me I am looking at. And I'll just say, still kind of staring down at the table, I need you to stay behind me and just look around. Can't shoot really from your perspective, but I need you to be as close to mine as possible.
Okay. And Fanaa will, I think, crouch down right behind you, and you can hear their breath in your ear, but you can also hear your own breath as well as you're hearing what Fanaa is hearing, and it's this strange overlay of the two sounds mixing over each other. And they, I think, pick one of your sides, like maybe on your left shoulder, and they don't touch you, but they hover right next to your head.
And I pull out a pistol strapped to my side. Auguste, they weren't lying, I see it. And I'm going to aim at the door, at those creatures that are sniffing.
Auguste, actually, Enoch, from
Yes.
just the panic of sensing things that you cannot, seeing things throughout someone's eyes other than your own is extremely disorienting. And knowing that at any time, this could go away and you could be blinded to the danger that is approaching. I would like you to take one desperation, meaning that at any time, you can take a desperation die and add it to your hunter abilities to roll it. You have to roll it separately because if you do choose to roll it, failing on a desperation die will have very negative consequences.
Okay, so with desperation dice, like me and August share the same desperation level. So is the desperation level 1 now, or
Desperation level 1
okay?
for now.
Yeah.
Very, very, very briefly, as I say to August, that you have just witnessed this go down. Everything that was just described has illuminated the fact that you are now alone. You are now the only person that sees the world in this room as humans do. Everyone, including the human you walked in with, sees things that you cannot. You are utterly alone. 2, desperation. A hunter pool is at 3 for our hunters now. You are very aware that everyone here knows something you don't.
Auguste, through the conversations that have been going on from like with Fanaa and like this exchange, but also weirdly Ime's tone, a part of Auguste knows that he won't die by their hand today, or at the minute, because Auguste has spent a lot of time watching this club and specifically watching Ime in the time that will come where Auguste will try to kill them. And it's like, she's never acted like this before. This is so unique. And there is this weird form of, I call it stubbornness, or a like a drive that even though Auguste can't see these creatures, he does believe he's the only human left in that room, and that is good. A human needs to be there to do this situation, and that's what this whole thing is. Auguste would never compromise any part of himself to be less human. And is now almost looking for a way, not out, but where in this room would be the safest for Auguste to be. Now, also, has Enoch's gun.
Yeah, my crossbow. My
the crossbow, not like the others.
Yeah.
Does anybody else, do you want to all figure out where you want to be in this room as the hounds are calling the vampires and Enoch can hear that the calling of the hounds has summoned a thunderous footstep. In the time that we have, would everyone want to figure out where they would like to be, or if there's anything that they would like to do to prepare for whatever is coming?
I widen my stance and I stand right by the door. If something's coming through, it's going to have to go through me.
I move towards the platform in which the throne is on, and there is a lever behind it that I pull. And the wall behind the throne opens, and there is a myriad of weapons, because I have a hidden armory. So I kind of peruse over it, and a lot of them, for anybody who can see, are very rudimentary weapons. There's a couple of firearms in there, shotguns, mostly, but there are spears and staves and things that have very tribal African carvings within them. And hidden in there is this very tattered uniform of cowrie shells in a very muddied brown color. And she reaches past it and grabs two very old hand weapons that look like brass knuckles, but not nearly as polished. I have not fought this way in years, and part of me is thrilled. But part of me wished to have this hidden. Help yourselves. Don't touch the uniform.
Enoch doesn't move from his spot.
Remind
Fanaa
me
will
what.
also.
Sorry, just remind me what Enoch has
Um,
at this
so
point.
yes, so I have a pistol with silver bullets. I did have a crossbow and a bunch of stakes, but I gave the crossbow and with one
That's
stake loaded in it to Auguste. I believe I have a holy water bomb, but only had
Yeah.
one. And currently wearing a gas mask. Though now that I'm understanding of the situation, I'm realizing that it's probably not going to be very helpful. But I
But
have
you're
that on anyway.
But you're staying in your position next to Fanaa. Okay.
Yeah.
Fanaa, sorry, please.
Do not apologize. Fanaa will stay by Enoch's side as well. But I just want you to note, Storyteller, that because that they had to use a discipline power in order to show Enoch what they're showing them, Fanaa's eyes are currently weeping vitae, and if there are any kindred nearby with a hunger of 4 or higher, they do need to do a frenzy test.
Kindred, are we okay?
For now.
Okay.
I mean, I just ate like 20
yeah,
minutes
you did
ago.
just eat. You did. That's true. Auguste, are you doing anything in particular? Would you like to find a spot to be at?
Auguste, having like naturally been moving around the vampires as they've been walking around, still like occasionally moving like iron sights rather. But as Kim stands in front of the door and then says that they're gonna have to get through me, Auguste's aim does move from Kim's head to just slightly down to the door, away from any vampire. So when the door opens, they can open fire at whatever manifestation is there. Even if he can't see it, he can fire into the open and try.
Okay. The hounds howl endlessly at the door as the footsteps approach. It is not just one set, it is several sets of heavy footsteps and chains that drag behind them as they approach the door. You see vampires and Enoch as shadows overtake the window outside. The beasts stop howling. Everyone but Auguste will see the following. The door to this club bursts open, shatters, splinters as wood and metal spray across the floor beside you as a shadowed figure sort of blocks out the moonlight before you, dips a head in, and enters. Hounds follow, and a couple more shadowed figures do follow. They look abstract and flowing in nature. The hounds look like rabid dogs, but these figures that follow them on footstep are ghastly, humanoid in proportion only. Their head moves, their body follows in every move that they do as they step forward. Seconds after they burst into the club, the door rescinds into its place, wood chips filling in the cracks, repairing itself, sucking itself back into place, the locks repairing. Auguste, you see the door. Nothing happens. No one is inside. You hear far away the sounds of coyotes like you heard before. And that is all that this is. The figures step forward. The hounds they've gathered on chains that they've wrapped around ghastly arms, gripping into clawed talons, and the hounds splay in front of them. One of these bipedal figures steps forward, cloaked head still obscured. If there's a face underneath, it is nondescript. It looks, cocks its head side to side. A joyous day. And I would love it if we could take a break here.
This
Come
man's
back.
single. He's cute. He sounds cute as hell. These guys are
Thanks
coolest
for
guy around.
fixing
They
the
sing.
door. At least you clean up after yourself.
Damn.
Take a stretch. Get some water. Take a bio. Oh my God, please do that. And I will see you in 10 minutes. We'll pick up exactly there, right where we are. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Welcome back. We left off with this figure, hounds clasped in chains in front of him, several other beings on foot, and several other hounds that have just entered the building. Only for our vampires and Enoch to see. Cocks his head to one side. Well, isn't this a treat?
Is he talking to like somebody specifically?
The address is being made to the vampires very clearly.
I am going to fire.
Okay. Go ahead.
Immediately.
Okay.
Once I see this thing and it crouches down and appears to one ignore me, it seems to be looking at the vampires. I take that as an
Yeah.
advantage as well.
Sure.
And fire.
Go ahead.
So firearms, dexterity. And I'm going to immediately use my desperation pool to add to this as well.
Okay. So roll the desperation separately from your
Yes.
other dice and tell me what they are.
Okay. Listen, I'm meant to be good at this, okay? Okay, let's go. Is there any difficulty, or should I just not set a difficulty and you'll just tell me?
The regular difficulty is still going to be 6. But
6.
yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Well then. Yeah. Okay. 5 successes without the desperation die.
Okay.
And we're at level 3 right now, right?
Yep.
Desperation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. I succeed. No ones.
Nice.
So 6 successes exactly.
So only one of the desperation die succeed.
Yes.
Okay. So 2 of the desperation dice fail. They are not ones. They still do not succeed. You fire at it with what? The
Silver
uh,
bullets.
silver bullets? Okay. The ghastly figure tries to sort of sway out of the way, but doesn't. The bullets hit in what would be a shoulder, maybe. This is not quite your normal humanoid figure, but what you could perceive as a shoulder is where it strikes. It kind of flails as the bullets go through. Auguste, you see the gun fire at nothing. The bullets fire through and embed themselves in the wall behind the front of this building, encased in the wall now. This creature slinks back and then juts its head at you, Enoch. We're fighting then.
I didn't sign up for fighting.
Auguste, you go, you finish.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pit in at the end of your.
Yeah, because you're going to see me talking to absolutely nothing. And I look over at Enoch before looking back to this thing. He might be fighting, but he's not under my command, and this is my domain. I'd like to thank you for at least cleaning up after yourself, but don't you know it's a bit rude to just burst your way into my house?
This is no home.
Says you.
We don't need to kill any of your allies yet. But the march is coming.
What march? And why are you threatening me and my comrades?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Apologies. We're not here to threaten you at all. We're here to celebrate and to recruit, if you don't mind.
You see there's contemplation on Ime's face. I think you want my mortals.
could be our mortals. We don't. We would like for you to join us first. But you have mortals here, that's for sure.
I look to Enoch. Then I look to Auguste. And there's almost like this look of like, just go with me for a second. Whether either of you pick up on that is entirely up to you. But my purpose is to kind of get more information. And I look to Kim. And I kind of like beckon her closer to me.
The entire time I have had my feet spread out, my stance lowered, my hands up, clawed, and I am hissing at each one of the hounds.
They hiss back.
It is only when Madame Ime looks at me that I begin to snarl at one of them and slowly withdraw, my fangs bared.
I don't think anybody else hears this, but I lean in. Kim, keep these two safe. I don't want hunter blood here all over my club. And truly think we're going to need them to finish this. I have to keep them talking.
They are soft, full of blood. But I'll try my best.
I appreciate you as always. Now, and I stand and I take like the like knuckles off and I put them in kind of like a pocket, but not really. Like, it's a very shallow pocket. I'm wearing a cat suit. What did you say your name was, darling?
I am a scout.
A scout. And like at this point, as I'm talking, it's now relaying the information. Hopefully, Auguste gets that. A scout for who, darling? And what exactly are we celebrating?
We have come to celebrate and to take in excess the Ghost Riders come in 3 days, and we would like for you to come and join us. Well, you. And the figure kind of phases to Ime, phases to Kim, phases over to Fanaa and says, no, not that one. But you two are like us.
Huh. The ghost what now are coming? Sorry, darling, you were rambling a little bit. I The Ghost Riders, right? Okay. I'm afraid I can't do that, dear. You see, that one, and I point to Fanaa specifically, is very dear to me. So we have 3 days. Let's say I will meet you tomorrow night, midnight, and I will give you my answer. You can't just burst into my house and expect me to allow you to pick me up and have me swoon over you in this offer. I need time.
No. In 3 days, you can decide which side you'd like to be on.
Perfect. Then I shall do that. For now, you will leave these two in my care because I am hungry, and I will see you in 3 days.
One of the other figures slides over to Auguste, places 2 hands behind Auguste's shoulders. Auguste, you do not feel anything tangible on your shoulders, but you do feel the immense weight of every vampire that you know of in existence that you have not killed. You feel that weight heavy in a pit in your stomach. This one would join. You could turn him.
If I could, upon realizing what is happening here, I would like to rush forward and try to grab the creature by the closest thing that's its throat.
Okay. That's gonna be a grapple. So yeah, absolutely. So I would love if you would roll at a strength and brawl, and it's gonna roll a dexterity and athletics to try to get away from that.
Okay, I have a lot of BS when it comes to specifically brawling.
Great. Love
I-
the S so much.
I have lethal body and I have prowess. And I have 8 dice to roll here.
Excellent.
Let's
We're
go.
working with 3 successes for the guest.
While Kim is rolling, I think knowing that she is bound for this creature, I am going to move to try to pull Auguste out of its grasp.
Okay. Yeah. Auguste, would you like to do anything as this is happening?
So I was gonna say, August is tense but calming in an odd way since Ime is relaying all the information. So August is currently like, you know, when you're trying to think of something and you kind of like phase out of what your surroundings. There's this slight phase out as he's trying to figure things out. But then Kim launches herself at him, and August is going to immediately fire at Kim. I'm going to say for storytelling purposes, will miss.
It's okay if you hit. It's fine. It's not going to stop me.
Is it okay?
For storytelling purposes, will miss. It's a meaty vampire killing gun. I wish it not to hit.
No, I get it. I get it.
It like
Yeah.
kind of spawns into a almost like a bloods up weird trick going on. I'm the only human here. It turns out that this is a whole that like is kind of confused as Ime grabs. And again, I think I think I like allow all rolls to fail on Auguste's behalf, just so we're not stuck in like a rolling limbo hell. As Auguste immediately fires at Kim, and then Ime yanks Auguste out.
Yeah. Okay. Ime yanks Auguste to the side. The creature kind of. And then Kim, when you launch at the creature, what did you roll?
I rolled 9 successes.
Oh,
Holy.
good
So that's
lord!
6. That's going to be 6 net damage to the creature. It sort of recoils. You see like a gaping hole kind of spiral within its center. And it and the other creature, the one that's been talking to you this entire time. See? Oh, how much fun we're gonna have. Fine. We don't need these two. We do want you to join us.
I will see you in 3 days. And you will have my answer.
In 3 days.
Don't
What?
disrespect my house again. Or you will not be so lucky. Understood?
Don't recognize houses.
Well, do not fuck with me in my domain. Surely you understand that.
The hounds howl. Vampires. Roll your hunger dice.
Is that just a rouse check?
Mm-hmm.
Fanaa fails. Oh, we all fail.
Yeah, we all failed.
Vampires.
Yeah, I don't think Stella.
Wait, Stella should
failed.
have succeeded. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you succeeded.
What
You
did
got an
Stella get?
I got an
An
8.
8.
An
Oh,
8.
yeah, Stella succeeded.
Okay.
All right. So, 2 of our vampires, Ime and Fanaa, the howling sound makes you feel as though you have not eaten, though you may have very recently.
Mhm.
This hunger emerges within you. What's more concerning is you hear the footsteps clamoring up the stairs from the basement. As the door bursts open, and 3 vampire guests of this club run out and launch themselves onto our 2 hunters, 2 at Enoch, 1 at Auguste. What would everyone like to do?
I'm going
Okay.
after him.
Fanaa had jumped back from Enoch when this figure had pushed its face closer to Enoch's because they were side by side.
Mhm.
And so I think is like maybe a foot away from Enoch and had flinched when they had phased in near them. And so I think Fanaa was close to Enoch when this happened. And they are seeing this. They are going to try to intercept whichever vampire attempts to go for Enoch.
Okay. There are 2 that go for Enoch, 1 that goes for Auguste. What does everyone else want to do? We're going to kind of declare and then roll and see what's going on.
I
Enoch
think.
is
Well, you go.
Enoch is still looking through Fanaa's eyes. So I think and I've been imagining like the door to the basement is behind us as we're
Mhm.
looking at the front door. So suddenly having my body stay still but my vision turn behind me is going to be a bit disorienting. So I think I'm going to end up
Yeah.
taking my first turn trying to position myself in a way that this feels less uncomfortable as I whip around trying to gauge where exactly they are. But I think that would be what happens initially for my turn.
Okay.
For me, I quickly spin around and I put myself in front of Auguste.
Okay. Okay. So you're
Um,
willing to take whatever attack comes on August.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ew. But yeah.
haha!
Good God.
It's a
Yes,
beautiful
I get it. Yeah,
friendship.
yeah.
From being thrown, I imagine August fell on the ground, and seeing the one vampire jump at him is going to fire the crossbow
Mm-hmm.
stake at the one vampire.
Okay.
I don't know what happens with Ime stepping in front of that, but
Yep, we can do that. We can do that as Ime steps in front. What about Kim?
I am burrowing my nails into the throat of this thing that's between worlds. I am hissing in its face. I say, I am the weapon of God. I am guided by her hand, unshaking, unbending. I like to push them away and snarl as I face towards the vampires.
I would like
Woo.
Stella for you to make that attack roll first.
Okay. Yes.
And everybody, if you have an attack that you're making, make that roll, and then we'll make our defenses accordingly.
What role do you need for a getting in the way, the protecting Enoch? Is there a role
If
for
you're
that?
getting in the way, we're just gonna make you extra soak. So you're gonna be like a defense, so you can kind of use your dodge, which would be your athletics and dexterity. If you want. If you also wanted to say like dexterity, athletics, and grab a hand, whatever, you could do that too. Get it out of the way.
would firing the crossbow be firearms dexterity?
Yes, it would.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm rolling dexterity or athletics dexterity, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
So do I roll desperation on all? my
It's
rolls?
your choice. You don't ever have to roll them. You can roll them whenever you want to, but they come with the cost that is very high.
Is kind of spicy, and I do think that August is so desperate right now. Is has absolutely no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, has some idea, but can't see anything. And now there's a vampire jumping.
Yeah.
And
I got
that
one
is
success.
One?
nice.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And that's a D10.
No, it's
Just-
3d10 because desperation is 3 right
It's
now.
3D10.
So
Yeah,
it's
but
3d10,
yeah,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, d10, yeah.
Ba-ba-da-ba. Okay. I have 4 on my just regular firearm dexterity and 1 on the 3 desperation dice, which means that I have 2 failures for desperation.
failures. So the shot is going to hit, and it's at a Madame Ime who jumps in front of Auguste, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The shot is going to go through Madame Ime and hit. So Madame Ime take 1 damage. The figure in front will take the other 3.
Sorry, brave. Never.
I don't care. I love you.
Stella.
I'm so sorry.
What was your role? That's very important.
I succeeded with 4 dice.
Your hand grips and you say again, do you mind saying like a little bit of that again?
Oh, yes. I said, I am the weapon of God. I am guided by her hand, unshaking, unbending.
Your hand grips and starts to sink in, and then you see like ichor pouring out across your fingers. And then as you do 1 pool of damage, your hand closes on itself, and the figure says back to you, "Which god?" and pulls back.
In case it matters, all of my unarmed attacks ignore 1 level of armor. You'll find
There-
out soon enough.
What do we have for Fanaa?
2 successes and then a 1 on a hunger die.
Fanaa, the chaos in front of you is, you are holding your own here. You're doing okay. But the chaos is wearing you thin, and there is a lot of blood suddenly in this room. You are normally so good on blood. It is rare for you to feel this hungry.
And I think in that hunger, I think that in that hunger, Fanaa like reels back and the connection between them and Enoch severs. As well as Enoch, you are sent back into your body, into your senses fully. And it's true that Fanaa is taken care of by Ime, never wanting for blood. But I don't think it's true that Fanaa never hungers.
Mm.
I think in the way that they have chosen to live, they are constantly hungry, actually, especially given a vampire of their age. There's only so much that animal blood can slake, so much hunger. And I think that anybody who is paying attention can see it as one of their hands goes down to their thigh, and I think they're start digging into their own skin in an attempt to still themselves, to still their mind, but their fangs come out unwillingly. And their tongue starts to move along their teeth, and they want to focus on this vampire in front of them, on Enoch behind them, but I think they're distracted, and everything, their attention, I think, starts to waver. And Enoch, I think you notice that they start to come back to you perhaps more often than they should.
The vampires that have come up from the basement, 1 is knocked back to sink their teeth, 1 into Enoch, 1 into Auguste. Auguste, have you ever been bitten?
Once. Before Auguste had any knowledge of vampires and anything supernatural. He didn't even realize it was a bite when it happened. But it was definitely Henry on the night.
Yeah.
It was this just like flurry of very loud emotion as both of them were like screaming at each other. And Henry is this August far younger man. This is a good 20, almost 25 years ago. Launched himself at Auguste, bit him, and then Auguste pushed off and then pushed Henry over the balcony. And Henry fell and broke his neck on the way down.
Enoch, have you ever been bitten?
Absolutely. There have been many situations on missions back when he was back with the IAO, I believe it's the and I think there are occasions where he's been surrounded or cornered or sometimes even used himself as a lure to attract a vampire, and occasionally the plan doesn't go exactly as planned, and ends up having to stake a vampire a bit closer and more personally than originally planned. So I don't think this is the first time. I think it's the first time it's happened outside of the information awareness office when he stopped. Like, it hasn't happened since he's been an agent with the information awareness office group. So I think it's like this is the first time without the security of fellow incredibly well-trained agents around.
Yeah. Auguste, take 1 damage. Enoch, take 2. The hounds are released from their chains. And the figures who stand, although one is badly injured and slinks away, the others stand and watch as the hounds release and head some down into the basement. Would anybody like to do anything?
I think at this point, while I am shot, not fatally, thank the heavens, I kind of just like place a hand over my stomach where the stake went through. God damn it, Auguste. And I turn around in time to see this vampire sink into Auguste, and I'm going to take out my like makeshift knuckles, and I'm going to reluctantly try to hit that vampire off of him.
Okay. Strength brawl.
Damn. Okay.
You should be good.
You
Zero
say that.
successes here.
I was Oh, well then, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing. Zip. These are regular ass vampires. These are not these are your patrons.
All right, I got 2 successes.
That
one.
is enough. I am assuming, based on what I know about Ime, that you're not trying to obliterate this vampire, just sort of knock him
Unconscious.
off. Yeah. Easily done in this case. The vampire kind of is midway, like through a delicious bite of Auguste confit, and then you just knock into them and they kind of fall to the side,
And
roll over.
I kind of scream, "Move, Auguste," as I turn to focus my attention on these hounds. And just for flavor, at this point, you see the gloves come off as Ime takes her braids and very quickly wraps them around her head, almost in a crown, and tucks them underneath, and pulls the sleeves of her catsuit down and off. And you'll see that her arms are littered with different scars. Very, very, very old. But they are in a pattern. They are not just haphazard. They are a reminder of something. And she grins widely. Mawalisa, give me strength today. And she steadies herself.
I imagine as I turn away from the creature, I'm turning towards Enoch. I witness the vampire bite into him, and there's a hesitance that takes me. I just watch as I draw in a deep breath of Enoch's scent, specifically their blood. And I can't help but remember something about this scent. And instead of going to help Enoch, I look away.
As you look away, Fanaa is standing between Enoch and a second vampire who had attempted to attack him. And they, with their fingernails dug into their thigh, if they could bleed, they would in this moment. And they, I think, try to steady their breath themselves. But similarly, where Kim smells Enoch's blood and ignores it, I think Fanaa smells Enoch's blood now flowing through a wound that a different vampire is on, and turns around to face Enoch, to look at them and to see this vampire. And I think there's a moment of hesitation, just mirroring Kim's own moment of hesitation as well. But eventually Fanaa moves, and for a moment, Enoch, it looks like Fanaa is going for your throat, for the other side. And I'll give you a moment to react.
Oh. Yeah. I think, and you can decide if I'm able to do this, Dillin. The moment, the split second I saw through Fanaa's vision these 2 vampires, and then the connection cut, and then I felt and then eventually saw as I regained my own sight, vampire biting onto me. I would like to have reached down for my stake And then upon seeing Fanaa coming towards me in a way that I can only assume is for my neck, I'm going to go for my holy water grenade.
Okay.
And I want to pull the pin on it.
Okay. For your holy water grenade, does it have its own stat block, or is it just something
Yes,
that you
let
have?
me
If
see.
it has something special, otherwise I'm gonna let it be a dexterity brawl, because you're doing it in
Yeah,
close
I believe
quarters.
that is what it is, but I can quickly check to see if I can find it in our wonderful Nexus. Uh, there we go. Yeah, it's a dexterity athletics check.
Okay.
And it'll
If
reduce
we're
by 1 for every. So it will go off, and it would normally inflict, the max it can inflict is 7 points of damage. And if you do a dexterity athletics for every success, it reduces the 7 down by
I
how
would
many
like to
successes?
offer something.
Yes.
If you would like to wait to activate it until Fanaa is right, like on you, like right, like in your space,
Yeah.
you could do dexterity brawl and target it onto Fanaa. If you release it in general, it will be more of a dexterity athletics, and it might hit more people with less damage, kind of as a dissipated
Yeah.
damage.
There is a vampire on me. I'm trying to get this one and the one coming for me. So I'm not going to direct it at Fanaa. I think it's going to be like
Okay.
a
All
spread.
right. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah,
go
so
ahead.
Fanaa, should I have to make a dexterity athletics test? Oh,
I got 1 success and a 1 on a hunger die.
hey, do you have any willpower?
Hey, I don't think that changes the fact that it's a bestial failure.
No.
Yeah, but like it would do less damage for every
I
success you
cannot.
make. Less
I
damage
can't.
you take.
I'll use
you
1
know,
willpower to
7 is a
reroll
lot, you
1
know.
die. Because that's all I can do, and it failed.
Oh,
so
nice. Great.
Oh,
Okay.
Exceedingly good.
God.
I'm sorry. Is this 7 aggravated damage or 7 superficial damage?
I think because it's
'Cause-
spread, it's not going to be as much. I think is what
Okay,
everyone
cool.
said.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's regular damage. But you will need to make a hunger roll now again.
All right, we're good.
You're good? Okay, cool.
I didn't
okay,
make a
cool.
rouse check last time I got a bestial failure. Do you still want me to do that?
Not for
Okay,
things
cool.
that have passed us. Yeah, no. But you've succeeded this time. That's good. So you still take that damage. The grenade goes off. But what were you actually doing? You came at Enoch as though you were going for his throat, but I don't think that was your actual intention, or I got the hint that that was not your intention. What were you actually going to do?
So, fun fact, I rolled a composure resolve test for myself earlier to determine
that.
whether or not Fanaa would attack or not, and I succeeded. Which means that also for GM, I am impaired
Thank you. Okay.
with the damage that is taken. Fanaa looked like they were going for your throat, and what they were actually doing was going for the vampire attached to your throat. And so I think you can describe for me, either Dillin or Drak or both, at what point this action gets interrupted, because I think it does get severely interrupted. But what they were trying to do was to grab for this vampire that was feeding from you and to pry them off of you, like the momentum of it, their body tackling this vampire and pushing them away.
Muted.
You're muted.
Muted. Sorry. What you see is this vampire biting down on Enoch's neck, and Enoch reacting to go for a stick for a close-up stab, and the eyes kind of dart and see you approaching. And in that split second, you see Enoch grab this vampire by the head to keep them by their neck and go, "That's right, drink up," and pull the
Nice.
bomb to make sure that this vampire cannot leave as it goes off. And any splash damage would, of course, would hit Fanaa, but they're keeping this vampire in place.
Okay. What that means is that Ime, this is now one vampire unconscious, one vampire very badly bloodied, a patron of yours. Obviously was doing something that you did not approve of, but very clearly not under their own control. The hounds come back up the stairs, followed by more vampires. The others continue their attacks. There is still a vampire attacking Auguste. There is still these walking figures, one in sort of a direct conflict with Kim, although not currently fighting, but still bleeding from the neck, this Iker. Would you all continue to attack, or would you allow this to play out?
I would likely at this point cast awe.
Tell me what that means.
It means that I am seeking to draw the attention of everybody in the room so all eyes are on me.
And what is there a role associated with this, or
Yes, it is manipulation and presence versus composure and intelligence.
great? Please roll that. And I think everybody in the party as well will roll it.
I get +2 as well because I'm stunning.
But I do think that it could be a choice for Kim, especially to just know that
Yeah.
and for Kim and for Fanaa to like know what
Yeah.
Madame Ime is doing and to just draw their attention. If our hunters want to do that or resist it, it would be your choice.
I will
definitely
say
resisting it.
that I have tempered will, which means that I'm always aware when someone is trying to use either dominant or presence on me, and I get +2 dice to resist the effect.
I also have tempered will.
Yeah,
So
and I
it would
think
be your choice if you wanted to resist it or not.
I think it would make sense because y'all have seen this enough. Just based off of, having spent so much time with me that you're like, Ime's doing it again. Okay. Now I have a question for you. With this roll, how do I add the +2 for stunning?
At some point,
Your
it'll prompt you to
modifier.
add-
Yeah.
Okay. So manipulation, presence, right?
Yeah. It also is weird about the dice roll is weird about the discipline dice. So what I would just do is do manipulation, and then whatever number of dots you have in presence, add that as like a modifier.
Okay.
Plus your 2 pretty dice.
Goodness. Okay. Manipulation. What is my presence? I can read things. Or
Presence
maybe
is
do
the
I have to?
ability.
Yeah.
So how many
How
dots
many
do you have in
dots in
presence?
presence do you have?
Oh, I've one. Okay, so
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 I'm
then that's one.
okay. So I'm sorry.
You're
Manipulation.
grand. Don't
Don't
worry
be
about it.
sorry.
So pool modifier is 1,
Is 3
Yes.
3
Mhm.
because you
of
got the 2 pretty
Because of your
dice.
social.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh God, I have 1 success
Is
and I
And
failed
composure
my
one?
hunger.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
it's in composure
So
and intelligence, right? So
I
do we still have to roll? Or
You truthfully, the people in this room who know Madame Ime now can choose to pay attention to her at any time. Like, you can choose to automatically fail and pay attention, or you can choose to fight it and then succeed. It's up to you what
Can-
you do at this point.
yeah, I'm
can I
definitely resisting
use
this.
willpower?
Absolutely. You spend a point of willpower to re-roll up to 3 dice.
Okay. So
You
I
get to
am
reroll up to 2 because you have
Oh.
based on your dice pool.
Up to 2. Thank you.
so I'm going to do the 2. Okay, so that is 2 successes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, August is also going to resist. Would you like the roll, or would you just like the statement of resist is enough?
I'm gonna roll for it personally.
You
I
can
think I'm
roll
being
for it if
resisting.
you would like to.
A roll? Hey, listen. If we're rolling, we're rolling. What are we rolling?
I think you said it was
Composure.
intelligence and composure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, I'm okay at those.
Fanaa is going to resist it, but is going to pretend like they haven't.
Oh, interesting. Can I what does that look like? Is that like what does it look like to pretend that you're resisting it?
So awe specifically as a discipline is about being so literally awe-inspiring that people cannot tear their eyes away from you. And Fanaa knows that. Perhaps not so
Mm.
eloquently, but they know it because they've seen Ime do this before. And Fanaa, being who they are, being as paranoid for good reason as they are, does not like when other people are controlling them in any way, even if it is people that they trust. So I think for Fanaa, what this looks like is playing the part, is paying attention to Ime in the same way that everybody else would be paying attention to Ime if they were under the influence of awe.
Okay. Great. Matt, what did you
6 successes I got.
Okay. So
Yeah, and I got
you
4.
4, you're not at all compelled to look at Madame Ime at all.
I think in this moment, this is why Auguste waits and like studies, because I think the first time Auguste saw this, he was like mesmerized and stunned, but it was on like a building across through a rifle scope.
Yeah.
And now, after like so long of like preparing for this fight, not this one obviously, but like a showdown, is now like no longer affected by this.
Kim, what is it that you are choosing in this moment?
I choose to look.
You choose to look. Okay. The crowd, Madame Ime, is a mix. Some snap their heads. One of the vampires that has their teeth sunk into Enoch looks up. The one that has their teeth sunk into Auguste looks up. But there are several others that do not change their stance at all.
Okay. I think from here. Oh man. Okay. I am going to move into deeper territory. I am going to gosh. I think I'm going to look at the one vampire who is on Auguste's. Well, no, because I knocked them off of Auguste, but I'm going to look at them specifically, and I want to use mesmerize if I can.
Okay.
And that's manipulation and dominate.
Yeah,
Is-
and they're already paying attention to you.
Mm-hmm.
This one in particular, so that'll be an automatic pass.
Okay.
They'll yeah.
Perfect. I love that for them. And then I'm going to, since they are mesmerized by me, I'm going to use the thing that I picked up today. I'm going to use Submerge Directive. And what that is I am planting a thought in this vampire's head where there is a trigger that will cause them to follow up on that action. And the directive that I have is in 30 seconds, I'm going to turn around. And what you are going to do is start running in circles around everyone. Get in their way. And I smile and stand up. I give a respectful nod. Pause. And then I turn.
While this is happening, because I think this, at the very least, the exchange of this vampire in particular takes a few seconds.
Yes.
I am going to shoot point blank this vampire on me in the heart.
Go for it. I think that in that time, everyone, as this message is being relayed to one particular vampire, we have room for everybody to make an action. There are hounds that they don't seem to be attacking you. They do seem to be herding other vampires up the stairs. Those vampires do look like they are hungry beyond comprehension. There are about 5 coming up the stairs with them. As Enoch does that, and as Madame Ime does that, what would the rest of you like to do simultaneously?
I choose to not look at Enoch, but I will raise my hands and I would like to cast Arms of Ahriman. And essentially what I will do here is as I pull my hands up from the floor, it's almost as if the shadows tether to my fingertips and they pull up like peeling plastic off of a fresh device. And I would like to fling shadow tendrils over in the direction of the hounds. That way I can engage with them at a distance, perhaps distracting them.
Perfect. What's the roll on that?
Wits and Oblivion.
Amazing. Go ahead and make that. Fanaa, Auguste.
I'll let August go first.
Auguste scrambling to their feet. Now, one of the vampires is knocked out, and the other one is currently being controlled by Ime. Is that true? Do I have like the scene correctly of the ones that were attacking Auguste?
The one that was attacking Auguste was knocked off of you and is now being controlled by you.
And that was the only one that's on Auguste. Scrambling to their feet. Enoch has one vampire or two vampires on them?
Two.
Enoch's got one of them, so there's no worry there. I think Auguste is going to use the ability Repel the Unnatural and pick vampires. The vampires in the room, which is they can't go closer to Auguste, and because of the ability, the perk Ward, that extends to 2 meters. So I'm imagining that Enoch is also within those 2 meters. So now vampires can't use melee or brawl, can defend themselves, but can't go closer.
You or Enoch, basically. Okay.
We need to roll a thing for it.
Yeah.
But that is it. It also might be just one. So I am using some mighty fine shenanigans right now to get it to be numerous feral vampires. But yes.
It looks like it's going to be just the one that is currently not damaged by Enoch, but the one that is currently attacking Enoch, because there is a free, there is an undamaged vampire still attacking Enoch.
I am wondering if Auguste isn't going to do that vampire and is going to do one of them that is flying up the stairs.
It's up to you.
At them, because I think that might be more of a pressing. Like, if that one vampire stops, then the rest who can't see what's going on might also stop in a herd mentality type thing. Hey, listen, life's worth living. Let's roll for that. Let's do that one.
Go for it.
Beautiful. We love that. Pulls the gun out and it points it at a vampire which is running up the stairs in an effort to scare them back down the stairs or just stay. That is resolve plus occult for me. And the default difficulty is half of the creature's composure plus resolve.
Good luck, my love. I'm so sorry.
It's half of their composure plus resolve. So I have a chance. Resolve and occult. Okay. Who knows? Hey, who knows? Who knows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to use a willpower to reroll 3 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Legitimately shocked because that was a fucking stellar roll on my behalf. If you would like to know. Yeah. The vampire coming up first at the top of the stairs stops, freezes, arms against the doorway.
I think it's
It's very
in
temporary.
the like chaos and the noise. August has not said anything for a very long time, and I think it's a very stern, like, father putting foot down. Crit's only double successes. Oh shit. Okay, it's not 7. Anyway, always like points the gun, and it's just a stop as they all run and then halt.
Everybody else doing? Drak, you're
Yeah, no, so we couldn't hear you for a sec. But then I was also muted, telling you that we couldn't hear you, so it's very ironic.
Fanaa had been blasted back by Enoch, and I think was on the ground, and their attention had been falsely drawn towards Ime as she went about and did her commands. But I think seeing them talking to another vampire and feeling this hunger, this overwhelming hunger within them, and feeling just how close they were with Enoch as well, I think they start to push themselves backwards and their eyes start looking around for the original figure, the one that had all of the hounds in chains.
mm-hmm.
Where are they right now?
They are actually still near Kim.
And I think Fanaa will scramble up as best as they can up to their feet and will probably in some variation of limp or very clearly injured, walk over towards Kim and this figure. Stop. Stop. Please. You don't know what you're doing.
We know.
Then why do this?
Preparing.
For what?
Take. Do you not know? It
And I think
reaches a hand out towards you. It's not really a hand, more of a wisp.
and I think Fanaa instinctively looks over to Kim in this moment, who is embroiled, I think, in
Yes. It is, I think, quite historical that in moments like these that Kim would intervene, perhaps bodily, perhaps with some form of intimidation, and is generally present for you. But that is not the case in this moment. As I rolled a bestial failure with my arms of Ahriman,
Mm-hmm.
and I failed my hunger roll. I try to beckon the shadows to bend to my will, but I just can't stop thinking about Enoch's blood. And my fangs come out. You look to me, Fanaa, but I'm looking at Enoch. And I look hungry.
Does
You go.
Kim do anything, or is it just a look of hunger?
Do I have to roll anything for that?
You, Enoch, you know the look of a vampire that wants to eat you. You're a very skilled and experienced hunter. You know what that looks like. You have not seen that. You've seen anger, you've seen protectiveness, you've seen all kinds of things from Kim that are not I'm going to eat you. This
And
is different.
it's also more than that too. My mouth, my body, my hands, they all speak of great hunger. But my eyes look heartbroken. If I could cry in this moment, I would. I give you the look of someone that has ripped my heart out. And you know this look is dangerous.
And I think Enoch recognizes that this seems like not just hunger, but something personal. And in direct contrast to the look of pain in Kim's eyes, is a look of complete indifference in Enoch's. Very much like someone coming up to you and telling you that you've done them wrong and them replying, what is your name? I don't know you. And Will, I want to ask this question mark hands. 'Cause
Yeah, do it.
Okay, cool. Still grabbing onto this vampire who's biting me. I think like not pushing them into my neck as much as I was when I let the holy water grenade go, but I grab onto them and I'm gonna spin and move them so that their body's in between me and Kim. And I'm going to fire, and I want it to go through this vampire and hit Kim as well.
Auguste already did that.
Yeah,
I have a
you
specialty.
can do that, of course. Yeah. Fire
I mean,
your
you
weapon.
can try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a specialty trick shot that adds another die to this because I feel like this counts as a trick shot.
So what's gonna happen here?
Mhm.
Do an interesting little thing here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna roll for the vampires soak, the defense.
yeah, that makes sense.
Kim, you roll yours. Let's see how much this bullet gets through. This is not a very strong vampire.
I rolled 1 success.
I also
Oh.
rolled 1 success. Just
Okay,
fair.
I'll roll my.
So roll your shot, and the outstanding success will be distributed between the vampire and Kim.
I'll use willpower here if that's
Go
okay.
for it. Hell yeah.
Enoch
Do
is
it.
indifferent, but Drak isn't.
I think I'm doing this right. Nope, I did that wrong. So
You
that's
want
only
to do willpower reroll
okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
and then pick 2 dice.
Okay. Nope. 0.
Yeah.
Still.
Okay, so
Oh,
still the one.
God damn it. Okay, let me roll my.
What's the damage?
Give me a sec. I'm really good at shooting. I'm sorry. 5 successes.
Kim, if you're all right with it for story purposes,
Yes.
the vampire that was still remaining on Enoch dies, falls limp to the floor. Kim, you take the remaining 2 damage.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, please. I would like you to.
As I take the blow, I seem to snap out of whatever came over me. I look down at myself where I have this wound. And when I look up at you, I'm shaking, almost as if trying to cry, just welling with emotion. And I scream out at you, "You killed my sister!"
Enoch looks over at Kim in this moment as they yell this out, and seeing them snap out of this anger, they turn around and aim their gun at one of the other vampires, and loud enough for Kim to hear, but definitely not matching their passion or volume. They say, "I've apparently killed many of your sisters," and will continue aiming at the vampires coming up.
I will fall to my knees and clutch at my injury, which is more than just 2 damage.
Auguste, you are no longer being eaten. And the vampires coming up the stairs are at bay for a moment. The hounds are collecting in the center of the room. You overhear that from Enoch. There's a moment of quiet because there is nothing in this room to you besides vampires and humans. There's blood. There is the sound of panic. The vampires in the room. The hounds gather back towards the figures, the bipedal, ghastly figures. One still bleeding ichor out onto the floor from its neck. One makes its way to Auguste. Does not claw, does not attack, but heals one wound. A few vampires walk calmly, unravenous, from the doorstep towards the hounds. And the leader of this group looks to you, Madame Ime. I should have said, it's not me who will see you in 3 days. We're just recruiting. Would you like to come?
There is a very sick, cynical, dare I say, murderous grin that coyly slides across the fullness of my lips. You, darling, do not know who you have fucked with. I am a warrior, born in the kingdom of Dahomey, and I will and you for everything you have done here. I will see you or whoever in 3 days. And then there's a little bit of a giggle. And don't mind me if I cackle as I watch you slip away. Now get the fuck out.
They bow to you a little bit sarcastically. They look at Fanaa. Stay alive till then. We'll want to see you. And they turn. And they leave, and several of your patrons leave with them. And that is where we will stop for tonight. As we end this session, the third session of Enemy of My Enemy, a Hunter the Reckoning / Vampire the Masquerade campaign. We have 2 more episodes left. 2 more. Can we just do a little roundabout of who we are and how amazing everyone is? Can we go in the opposite direction? We start with Stella.
Hello, I am Stellaluna on Twitch, Stellaluna TV on all other social media. Thank you so much for watching and being here, everyone. Holy crap. Oh, wow. Dillin, you are amazing. Absolute masterpiece of a session. It is messy. This is the messiest session I've ever been a part of. It's so delicious. It's so juicy. I love it so much. So very, very much. You can find all of my things over on my Twitter at Stellaluna TV. I do TTRPG performance and producing, so stuff like this. And thank you so much. I will pass it on over to, I believe, Hamnah.
Yes, that is over to me. Hello, everybody. My name is Hamnah. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. You can find me over on all of the social medias at Lilith TTRPG. Okay, I think we're just going to need to do like a collective deep breath. So if you're just going to walk through me. Okay, deep breath in. And out. Oh God, that was something, Dillin. That was really something. I am terrified. In terms of what I have coming up, the award-nominated Itaewon by Night is taking a little bit of a break for this week, or for this upcoming week, so you can't find us this week. But next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time over on Bad House RPG, we will be returning to Season 2 of Itaewon by Night. It's going to be super fun as we go through, so come check us out. And with that, I will pass it down over to Raven.
Hi, I'm Raven, aka Madame Ime, who is the vibe tonight. And like, I said it in chat, but this is like supernatural Jerry Springer, and I'm here for it. So good, so good. You can find me on everywhere at Wreck-It Raven. I am a TTRPG performer, little baby DM, GM, facilitator. And I am very head empty right now. This session was everything, and I'm so excited. I'm going to pass it to my nemesis, not nemesis, Matt?
Not nemesis?
No, maybe
I
not
don't even know.
nemesis.
Weird.
My frenemy.
Frenemy. Speaking of taking a deep breath. Hello, beautiful people. Hi, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming along. I don't know. I know that everyone's feeling super tense, but I mean, I'm feeling great. I'm at max health. I got healed by a ghost wolf that I can't see. Grand, mate. I feel killer. I'm dope. And My name is Matt, Captain Krell on all things. If there is a social media and you type in Captain Krell, and if I have it, I will appear. The name will appear. Mainly on Twitter, that's a really good place to follow me. But also, if you want to see my other Tuturpager nonsense, I GM The Adamless, which is a little award-nominated show.
There
The
we
Adamless.
go.
Thank you. It is a Starfinder show about a bunch of broken people flying on a broken spaceship and trying to fix what they can. It's very good. We're going into our second season. The party has just entered a new galaxy and they're trying to figure out what the weird little MacGuffin crystal they have is. But yeah, little MacGuffin crystal. But yes, I am gonna, as one humble hunter who had his ass beat because he couldn't see shit for most of this fight, I'm gonna pass it over to the main man, the actual the slaughterer, Drak, my man. There you go.
Hi, I Drak am a slaughterer, and I play
Woo!
Enoch. Yeah, but I'm I'm Drak or Draconics. I played Enoch today. Yeah, Enoch's a person, I guess.
So sick, dude. So sick. Love it.
But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Draconics. It's DRAKONIQES. I am a TTRPG performer, producer, writer, everything TTRPG related I am doing or will be doing. The only thing I will shout out is that every Wednesday at 2:30 Central, don't know what that is in Eastern or Pacific. I got told Central, and that's all I'm going to keep saying. I'm over on Captain Robear. That's Captain ROBEAR. With Raven, actually.
Yeah.
With Raven in a Pathfinder D&D campaign called Stormforge, where we are fighting vines from the Fey realm right now, and I dealt
That's
some
very
serious
good.
damage after my wife got knocked down. I think I only crit whenever my wife hit 0 HP, and I'm like, fuck you. I guess.
It's very story. It's very, the dice are being very story heavy in that game.
right.
I love it very much. It's very good.
Yeah. So if you want to see more of that, we're still in the middle of the combat. We did some decent damage thanks to my, I don't know, great husbandness. But yeah, you can catch me there. I'm gonna pass it over to Dillin.
Oh, I'm Dillin, or Super Dillin, wherever you are on the internet. I'm on the Adamless. If you would like to listen to it, you should. You should get it on your podcasts. I am very thrilled to be running this game. I'm super excited for the next 2 episodes where we were going to have our actual climax and where we'll have our conclusion. I'm just so thrilled to have this group, and I'm so thankful to Demiplane for this opportunity. And I'm thankful to this cast. So I will see you next Friday for the penultimate episode of Enemy of My Anime. And that's it. Bye.
Bye, y'all.